Welcome back to Marwood's Customs. This is part 2 of our Project Lotus T Mario Andretti. I left you off with, when we come back, we'll strip some decals, walk you through what I do as far as some of these. I have a drawer of these. Try to pick them up when I can. When I start to get low, I'll buy more. It just depends on what the drawer looks like. And I do a lot of repairs on these, paint them, restore them. So if this is something you don't want to do, or know someone and they don't want to do it, just send them to my page on Facebook and I can give them a quote based on today. Now with the chassis, you've got hundreds of options, and the same thing goes with these cars. You can do detail trim and some touch-up type stuff, which I'll kind of show you here today. So anyway, this was sort of like our body that we had. I did go ahead and peel it to speed up the process, but what we'll do is the magic of television. Go ahead and walk you through some of the tools as we go and make it more geared towards the beginner. So this Mario decal, I can tell you by kind of feel and or looking, but somebody used the Elmer's glue or something, but that is an original paper decal. It almost feels like it, so kind of get that pitched. Same thing with these, but it was like I was looking at the sides and I'm like, those are definitely, like, when they pop off like that, I'm pretty 99% sure that's original. So same thing over here. This one's popping off. So I'll kind of walk you through this part of it, and then we'll switch over to the other body or whatever. It's primarily the same. And all these cars, by the way, we're doing 4 total. I made decal the car number 5, which will be the one we do after this, and I may walk through that one as well as far as decals are concerned, but try to use this one as your primary. I'll get as much detail as I can, and I don't have to go to that other body because it's pretty much in the same condition as this. So when I use these razors, it's a number 11 by X-Acto, and I actually, when I'm doing decal work, I'll grab a new blade and I will put alcohol and wipe all the oil off the blade. So there's no oil in our work. This one wants to live on here, so that's why I did that other body. There it goes. So that kind of looks like the front one. Somebody probably used like Elmer's glue or something. I don't even know if that's even made anymore. So I just figured I'd do this because there's no videos on it, and F7B on eBay is where I get all my G Plus decals from. And when you're done, you'll see the big difference. This one looks like feels like a vinyl replacement. So it looks like maybe they could have been vinyl. Try to tear it. It's paper, but they put a lot of goober all over that. Always put your lid back on. So this car here is basically like after me washing it, and then taking a 3000 grit sheet of Tamiya sandpaper, and I'll go over this whole car because I'm gonna wheel the car. So I'd want to remove as much of what I call the toy as possible. Like if you go around and start looking at edges and things like that, you know, they didn't take the time to make a model out of this car. It was mass produced and just punched out. The number 1 variant that we're doing right now, it's missing, I don't know, over half of its original sponsors or whatever, but it is close to the toy. I'll grab something to drink. One thing I love about these videos that I'm doing, I don't have like an editing team. Don't worry, that's not a Pabst. It's Mountain Dew. Relax. So I don't know where we're at today. 93 temperature, 61% humidity. So it's like our humidity is dropping again. So anyway, 3000 grit. You can buy these in a multitude of different grits and cut them to whatever size, shape, whatever you want. And really all I did with this second car, we'll move the gooey one over here, move that out of the way. I guess you probably want to see how we remove some of that. Let's just do that car. So let me grab my towel here. Is 70%. The bottle's gonna say 90, it's 70 or 91 or whatever. But I just kind of spray the car down. You can use Dawn dish soap. I'm just out in the shop right now, and my little tubs of soap and water are not filled, so we'll use alcohol. And it's just more of like a try to get the gooberness off of it. But this one, after I do this nose, I'll switch over to that other car. But it's just really washing the car. I think you guys kind of probably have that part figured out, right? Just be real careful around places like your front wing. Use a toothbrush. If you're using like the spray Dawn, a good time to get your cockpit all white. Bring one of these hobby Q-tips with you. And do when I do these cars, I actually pull the roll bar off, so you don't have to. It's just a couple little melt marks, and I just trim it as tight as I can in a circle until I'll feel that pop up, and that kind of snaps in even when you go to put it in. It's kind of a tight fit, so it's like you just try and get some of the goobering off here, all of it. So you could wash it first, then come out and do the alcohol. So we'll move on to the next, the lovely part, which is when you get to here, because sometimes you go to wash them and this stuff doesn't come off. So we'll try another. These are thick hobby Q-tips. I have thin as well. These are on Amazon for like $12 for, I don't know, 15,000 of them or so. But we'll try that with a little alcohol and see. I doubt it, but it's a, yeah, it starts to flake up or whatever. So if it's flaking, then when we go to wheel it, you're not, it's just to try to remove as much of this as possible. It's moving around, so that means to me that it'll be fine once we start the wheeling process. So I'm kind of pushing on the car, but I'm kind of keeping it off the front wing. So hopefully that's in frame where you can see it. Let me zoom so you can see. So even if you just get that wet, switch your Q-tip to the other side, you can get most of this stuff off. Once you start to wheel it, it's gonna all come off anyway. So you get the gist of that, and then these cars are kind of cool. Like a little tidbit I'll point out to you that most of you probably don't even notice when you look at the cars unless you've decaled them, and there's thousands and thousands of these out there, so millions. But you have two air vents on one side, one on the other. You see the second one's closed. I don't know why they did that, but I'm out here working on these today. I kind of noticed that first time I actually seen that myself. So anyway, so once you're kind of glue and debris free, you can start the process of taking that sandpaper, that 3000 grit, and what I like to do is just kind of look over my edges all the way around the car. Anything that's from a cast or a bump or bruise from flying off the track or whatever, I take a razor and just back scrape it straight. If it's a giant dent, obviously I'm not going to do that. At that point, you know, get it as clean as you can, then put the decal on. But I'm just doing this dry, and it's more of a scuff. This is kind of what's used for, say, just before you paint a car, like a pit kit or whatever. I just do it to remove, like I said, remove the toy. And it also allows you to view where you're gonna put your decals anyway, and see if you've got any low spots. And there's two I want to point out. Wow, I guess I should have stayed on camera. There's two that I want to point out, and those are where the car mounts. So you're not going to get that out, and it will barely show once the decal is on there. But sides of the wing, you'll usually see white. I kind of sand that out, even though it's weakening the wing. You can look back behind, like where it's mounted, and see that. And then just get your edges and stuff cleaned up. Now, again, you don't have to do any of this. You can skip all the way to the end and go, look, man, I just want to put the decals on and run my car. I don't care about, you know, how perfect or pretty it is. But when I show you at the end what it can potentially look like, maybe that'll change your mind. And again, this is a beginner video for beginners, by beginners. Little things that I've learned and that I do to take a cool old car and fix it up. So obviously the nose is probably the biggest part that takes a hit. So if you go on the back side, that's on an angle, and just kind of sand that down. Once you start the wheeling process, that's all going to come off. So we'll get back on, zoom this back out. So that's kind of what you're going to be left with. I just want to check one thing. Like I said, I want to try to keep these videos short, but the real truth of the matter is there's no such thing as like cutting corners. So that's why some videos are done with, you know, we're going to build a chassis and then just put the chassis on the track. They don't show you the body because that takes another hour to go through a body, unless it's a brand new style thing. You know, when it's something like this or a Gilmore car with a broken wing, they're not going to put that on the track. So a lot of people just put the chassis on and be done with it. This is more for a beginner that doesn't really know a lot about the cars, but there's some parts, when we get to the chassis especially, there's some parts that you can reuse. So we'll go through all that we'll go through what products I use as far as the detailing part of this, and I guess what works. So at least we're able to kind of get some of that out of there before we start wheeling, because I don't want to mistake it for the compound once that's on there. I hope I'm still in frame here. So just taking the toothpick end and going over this little white bump that's in a crack here, and I can feel it. Right, that one's out of there. Nothing in that one. Always check behind the wing back here in the cracks as well. We're going to learn that as we wheel. So how do you wheel out a slot car? Well, you don't use a Dremel. You gotta use your hand. There's a couple methods I use. One is the toothpick method, and you probably hear toothpick and want to run, but you take a piece of fiber towel. These are the Mother's version. They come with their clay bar kit. I absolutely love them. I used to detail cars, and mainly just my own and some family members or whatever, a couple friends, whatever, that kind of thing. But I kind of was getting into it, and then like anything else, it just gets like, do I really want to be doing this out 105-degree weather? So the answer to that is no. So this toothpick method, if you've seen what I did there, is rolled it up on an angle. Let me redo it so I can show you. I started at one corner, and I didn't put the toothpick all the way through. It was kind of in the middle, and then I just start to roll it. And don't worry about the fiber towel breaking little yellow balls all over the place. It's gonna happen. So, and I fold that, and I hold it, and I can now feel the toothpick up against my hand. And it's not hurt. There's hurting, but it's not hurting. The reason I do that is that's gonna show me how much pressure I'm putting on this slot car body. So the compound I use is a ceramic compound made by Pearl Nano. Pearl as in mother of pearl, Nano. They were out of Hawaii when I was working with them. Where does it say now? They're out of Tacoma, Washington. So good company to work with. I bought like a ton of their stuff. And I have both their 80% ceramic coat and their 10% basically like what you're gonna find at like any auto parts store, which is perfectly fine. So if you get to that point of, you know, oh, he's ceramic coating cars, and another, that was awesome. Anyway, he's ceramic coating cars. How do I do it? That sort of thing. So you can wet this with water and then dip it in here as well, just like you should, I guess, if you're gonna run a wheel or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with misting it with water first, because it's gonna grab this. So I usually, at this point, I don't care what it gets over or whatever. It's just start to kind of wipe your excess off. Get that back in my hand. And we're going to start at the front. And again, I'm pushing down at the back, not too heavy. And you know, you can do the figure 8, you can do the circle or the like egg-shaped kind of thing. If you've got like a deep scratch or anything like that, you can sand that more and sand it down as much as you can. Again, we're not fully restoring a car, which I do, but we're not going to do that today. This car, I spent, I don't know, maybe half hour back cutting with a razor. So this I just wanted to kind of do, and probably do half the car and then go over the decal part with you. how to get the decals laid on. Maybe we'll do the whole car. Why not, right? We're already here. So, like I said, I removed the roll bar. But you don't have to. If you do, and then you just snap it in, take a toothpick with just your hobby glue, not whatever that stuff's called, crazy glue or whatever. Don't get funky with it, man. Too much is a bad thing. So, kind of wipe off our excess there because I want to get in here. And again, your toothpick, you're actually holding the end right now with the tips of your fingers. The other end is in the palm of your hand. So these little cracks right here, I'll show you the trick I do on those. These are where your stickers are gonna go, and then your air vents. So it's tedious. It all depends on you. Like I said, if you're not into this part of it, you can totally like skip down. And I don't do a ton in here because you're gonna have 2 decals going in. I hope that's all on camera in the front. I don't really go inside there too much, but I do the edge. So sometimes I'll detail those with yellow or red. It just depends on what decals I'm putting on. The 5 car, I may do red under the bottom portion of the wing. Same thing over here. Grab a little bar from the back wing. The wing I do because the decals kind of don't cover the whole wing, so you're gonna see behind that. So I just, the crack of both sides of the wing as they go down their side slope. So I do address this entire wing. Usually they're not bad. It's just, this stuff's got mild abrasion, and I mean mild. I know there's people out there that probably have, you know, thousands of better ideas and everything. We'll make a video because I want to see it. So that's the reason I make the videos I make, because they're videos I looked for when I was new to the hobby and couldn't figure out. So kind of want to get all in there clean, keeping away from that motor as much as possible. And I actually do on the inside while we're here, you're wheeling with ceramic, so this does probably have like 1 or 2% ceramic in it, but if you're running your G Plus and it's getting dust everywhere, it's going to hit that ceramic and dissipate away from it as opposed to sticking to it. So cool car's a fast car, right? All right, so this is the part where we get rid of the toothpick for now, and you can just take your little fiber towel that you made into a wheel or a bonnet and just kind of start going over the car and seeing if you missed anywhere. You can see like right there where I missed, right up on top here. And I know a decal's gonna go there, but it matters to me, so. I think what I should have did before I filmed was brought out some soap and water. Alcohol's okay to use, but ideally we don't want to dry it out. Again, like your motor and all that, like, don't even worry about it. You can brush that stuff right out with an old toothbrush or whatever. pause the video. Awesome. That's what I was looking for. So I'm going to pause this. And a couple of wing pieces here will save us some time. I'll go in and wash this and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So we're at the point of it's been washed, Dawn just soap, and I wiped it dry. And then if you look in every little nook and cranny of the car, can of air is your best friend. Compressed air if it's a dry line. You don't want to blow any moisture or anything on it, but I just use canned air. And it gets these two little silver, I don't know if those are like intakes or whatever. It gets that stuff clean. So we're at the point now where you want to decal the car. It seems like it cleaned up pretty nice. Even all on the inside looks good. So we can start with that, and I will grab my decal sheet. You can get these on eBay. Just type in AFX Aurora Lotus T or Mario Andretti HO decals. The seller's name is F7B Frank 7 Bravo. So I like to start at the back and work my way forward. I don't know why, I just do. So at this point in the game, you're gonna need some type of really nice tweezers. They can be plastic or whatever, but those are more to lay down, but you don't want anything pointed. And then our razor, which I should have cleaned. And I'll go ahead and clean that now. And again, these razors, I have like 5 of them, so I know which ones are for decals, that sort of thing. Another little, before we get going here, is if you want to do any kind of back scraping to add more element or detail lines, don't. Take my advice on that. I know like the Ferrari 312 PV, you can back scrape on that a little. It does add a little more definition. I've wheeled out, I don't know, 15 or 20 of those as well. So either way, if I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna start with the right rear wing, and what I want to do is just get that lifted a little, set our razor away from us, reach in and grab, and pull. Doing this backwards, but it's okay. So the reason I grabbed it like I did is so I can let go of the tweezers, as you can see, and then hold them and then get that laid where I want it. And if I have to peel it, I can peel it. Always try to hold the decal towards you and bring your work up to the decal. And voila, one good year. So we'll go over to the other side. And those of you who do this, you know, thanks for watching. Those of you who are new to this and never done it, thanks for watching. Actually, I went the wrong way. So always go, if you're right-handed, go right to left as you peel, and you've just seen why, and I'll show you again. So and what I like to try to do, because we all shake at this point, it's that like I'm nervous, I'm going on stage in 5 minutes, is bringing the work to you. Hold your hand steady instead of trying to do one of those things. Bring your work up to you. And if they stick, they do. You notice I'm putting these on dry. On this particular car, there's only one that I do not like to put on dry, and it's the front one. And I'll kind of show you what I do here in a second, because I'll put the wing on and then we can do that one. So the wing, I like to try to grab from the bottom, as opposed to left or right. You can also crease the paper. If you don't have like a good razor, you can crease it. Just be careful, you may peel up the paper. You don't want to do that. Frank does such an amazing job with these. And if you notice, his page is dedicated to, I think, 99% Aurora G Plus cars. So must be his passion and something he's pretty passionate about. So I'm gonna grab it from the front and rear, and we're gonna try to get that up against that edge like that. And then you want a hobbyist Q-tip. Again, Amazon. I do have smaller ones. They sell those at Hobby Lobby. I just don't really use them that much anymore. I hope I'm getting this all on camera for you to see. So I just started at the top and just moving the air and everything down. Some of these you'll just be able to peel and stick, and you won't see any air bubbles like whatsoever. So there's your back wing portion. We can move to a top and side. So we'll do the right side. Start with the NGK Valvoline, and they're kind of set up self-explanatory, but if you don't know, it's spark plugs is going to go towards the back of the car, which I think you probably got that part figured out. I noticed a lot of people in our hobby are just like me. They're either mechanics, musicians, or both. I want that V because I've done so many of these right about on this line right here. So there's your V lined up. Same thing, kind of push that down and then make sure we're on film. Roll that to the back. Just roll it, and you can push this down. You'll feel that little crease there. You can kind of fill that in. These do have a protective coating on them, so you don't want to really rip that by using a toothpick or anything like that. So I think you're getting the idea here. And then on the decal sheet, you know, there's your left, right. So we'll grab the right one. Your number's going to go all the way to the rear, and that's where I want to grab it from. So just peel that up a little bit, grab it with the tweezers, and we'll get it lined up. Now, normally at the back of the car, okay, so this mold, you can see the 3 rivet holes, and over on this side, they're like are on the cornered part. So I want to put that one like right in front of those, if that makes sense. And we'll roll that on. With some practice, it's not hard. I mess up too. Just keep telling yourself these are a kid's toy. We're just redoing a kid's toy. But the cool part about it is, as you pull the decal into the car, and you can put a little bit of heat on these if you want. And anywhere there's any of those rivets or anything, it'll actually show through. I don't know if you can see them, but they'll kind of show through. So a little bit of heat. So let's see here. All right, let's get to the front decal. And I've got water over here, so we're good. You can use a little bit of water to get this bad boy on, and I'll kind of walk you through this. We'll do the two front wing decals, and I think you'll get the just video will be long enough. And I'll post photos of the finished car up on my Facebook page once we're done. So you can take your Q-tip you just used and apply a little water. Just remember, you're gonna be it's dry in here or humid and hot today, so we're not gonna have much of a chance here. So where the British flag is, where the British flag is, I want that at the front of the car, obviously. And I like to put mine literally like right up against, set that over there. Let's put this here for a second. Let me grab where I want to grab it. Probably should have given you this tip. You want to grab it behind that one. So, and then we'll repeel it. Again, if you want to reapply water at that point, you can. Am I not on film? Need to really get in better with my filming, huh? Do. It's like putting G+ brushes in. So just take your time, patience, all that great hoopla. I'm kind of more retentive, so I want it perfect. See if I can get it. No, she didn't stick. What it is I have too much tweezer on the decal. And I'm also filming it from 8 inches away from my big face. Okay. You can go ahead and laugh if you want until you go to do them. No, I just want to see something at the front. This is what I mean by how I like them. Before we move forward, is I like that front British flag to kind of slope down, but yet you don't see any paper. So at this point, we'll go back to our wet. Put some water on that. And I'm just gonna gently go straight up towards the cockpit. And flip it over into your dry part. and just bring that back down. Remember, these have a coating on them, so you're good. And you can start to see it suck in. And then you're gonna see one part go really cool, which is usually this side. Goes on nice. And the paper doesn't go above the cockpit. And then this guy over here, you have to really watch. Really watch as you do, as you're pushing that. So that your paper, it'll prematurely, look at that, no air bubbles. But you can look from side to side now and see no paper. Do we see paper? A little bit's okay. I could peel that and bend that back down, but a lot of these you're gonna have paper raised up pretty high, at least all the ones that I see. So again, beginners. So there's your main decal, because we've gone on for what, 40 minutes. So let's get the front wing decals put on. Those require a little bit of assistance. And I'll get to that in a second. So these I like to put the corner edge in, or towards the nose of the car, and then let them lay how they lay. Just barely grab the tip, and I want the dry end of a hobbyist Q-tip. So I need to hold the car, film the car. It's so weird doing this stuff for you guys. I'm so used to just busting right through it. Don't mind though. If you have any questions or anything, you can put them in the comments, and more than happy to answer. Again, I just don't see anybody showing you how to do this stuff. So by doing the corner there, the next one, don't grab it at the corner. Now we're going left to right, basically. It's so you can line them up. If I were to start with any car to put decals on, it would probably be the Lola series cars. I think there's like 4 decals when you're in, and they're pretty easy. But you can practice putting decals on with anything. You can just take masking tape and try and line it up on. It's the curved stuff that gets you, and just having that little bit of water, I know it looked like there not a lot, but it actually does help. So those are on. We'll go ahead and get this all together. I can show you a couple of things I do. Now, whatever ceramic spray you buy, if it has carnauba in it and the car is black, it's gonna really showcase the car. Just remember to go very liberal with it. Maybe the Q-tips, the Q-tip thing, apply it with that. That's got your little hump right there as well. We'll get our number 1 on. So our number 1 we're gonna grab from the front, and normally we got 3 rivets. So that body was pretty beat up. That was this car's brand new. No, it wasn't. Brand new on the card video that I did before. So whatever ceramic though that you buy, kind of give you what I'll do. I got a little bit here of mine, is just soak it in, and you can, it's absorbing, I don't know if that's on video or not, but it's sucking it all into that Q-tip, and you just go mainly where your decals aren't. So just kind of roll it around on that stuff. Your driver, if you're gonna paint, all that kind of stuff, or not paint, you can do your driver. I'm gonna show you something with the motor, so I'm not gonna paint that. These little creases here, once wheeled, and you do have to dry this or wipe this stuff off when you're done, so just be kind of noticeable of that. It's gonna haze basically, and you just want to wipe the haze off. You can actually see it purple right there. I can anyway. Back here, and we're gonna get the underside of our wing. It doesn't take much. That was probably like, I don't even know, 2/10 of an ounce is plenty to do a small body like this. So you don't have to go crazy and go overboard. You can touch it as you're working. It's not going to hurt it. Go next to your motor. I don't want to do the motor because I'm going to just show you something that I did when I first got into the hobby. Now that I'm airbrushing, it's more exciting to mask all that stuff off. But again, by like with the ceramic stuff, you can be liberal with it. If it's a spray, you literally can just spray it out over the whole car. So, but just remember, it's gonna haze and to come back within 24 hours or whatever. Don't leave it out in your garage or whatever. Come back and wipe it down. So we'll just let that dry. How long have we gone on for? 48 minutes. Let me grab a couple things here. These I do leave out here. Mainly because I really don't use them all that much anymore. Airbrushing so much. It's crazy, so. Your Hobby Lobby chrome pans and all that stuff, that's what I started with. But if you're gonna run your car and you know you're happy with it where it's at right now, you've got new decals, you wheeled it out, everything's all clean. We'll do a final wipe down here in a minute. You can take your chrome pen and re-chrome your motor. And you don't have to go down to the edge. I like to start in the middle myself, and it's gonna bubble, but you'll watch it, and it's so warm that it's gonna run down in the cracks. So you don't have to go in between it or anything like that. And now you've got a nice chrome motor again, top motor. So your intake ports, and then back here, same thing. You can start at the back. Get some of that chrome moving. This is why I moved away from this stuff too, is when you're chroming, you want a nice flow. It's kind of like welding, and you'll get a nice bubble and you start flowing with it. And I want to keep going and move that over here, and then I have to start over. So it's not horrible to use these if this is what you have. Just keep a piece of paper nearby so you can push your get some flow out there to get moving it. And you will definitely see a difference between the silver and the chrome. These little guys here. You're just dressing your car up, man. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still searching for one of these brand new on the card, but it won't look like this at all. It'll look like a toy that it was back in 1979 or 80 when they came out with these. So I did a little trick photography for you. So we want to set that where that rear part of the motor can dry, with the magic of saving you time. Here's another one that I did earlier today. So this one I painted the helmet, removed the red, just put red stripes, chrome the motor, front and rear. Everything's all basically the same thing. This one, because I buy so many of, I'll put a little R in there as for runner, and this wing right is drying. It's already dry, but it started kind of moving out on me, and that's what I get for buying, because I buy so many of these. So this one I wouldn't sell to anybody, just use it as a runner. So it also explains to you why I don't own any of these, because it seems like every time I get them done, someone wants it. So it's kind of cool, and I enjoy what I do, still love it. So parts from F7B, all the bodies and chassis, as you will see in the next video, is going to be for this car. This is the runner. This other one I may build a special chassis for it and put it up on my page for sale. And then we're going to move into the chassis build next time. Go through what parts we can save. I'll kind of go through all that with you, like putting up some new wheels, yellow wheels against the used ones, and how to clean them the best we can. They're perfectly reusable as long as they're not cracked. So we'll go through all that in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. This stuff takes a while, so remember patience. As far as Mario wanting to paint him or anything, like, that's all kind of up to you, like what you want to do and where you want to go. And if you have any questions, please ask in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So thank you for watching. Marwood's Customs out.